Hi, today what we're going to talk about is absorbing labor costs into inventory. So I'm going to look through how that happens. Let's first look at the T accounts. The first transaction that we're going to talk about is the creation of payroll. That's when you actually get your unabsorbed expense. So this is going to credit cash or some payables account and debit payroll, unabsorbed payroll. And that's what you do first. And then the next thing that we're going to do is move that unabsorbed payroll into WIP. So that's the process that I'm going to go through right now to show you how that works. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into cash management, and inside of cash management, I'm going to do a bank account transaction for my payroll, and I've actually already done one, and I'll pick that one up just so it's speedier. And what I've done is I've actually hit my GL account for the unabsorbed labor, and I've credited cash, right? So this is where I'm actually booking my payroll entry. And again, there would be 20 other entries, but this is my booking of that $12,000 to this particular unabsorbed labor account in Fort Wayne. So that's step one, right, that I'm going to do. Now, the second step that I'm going to do is after that transaction is booked is I'm going to set up an actual inventory account for the labor that I want to absorb. So I'm going to set up an inventory item called admin margin, right? And so you'll note that's an other charge. I call that as an other charge, and it can be set up with pricing that says this other charge is going to be $20 per hour. So this is the rate that'll actually get onto the recipe at the time you generate the actual work order. So the other piece that I did, if you look at setup, is here I put the unabsorbed labor account into the other charges, and again it'll override the location based upon the location I'm using. So my chart of accounts looks like the primary account, which says, okay, this is unabsorbed labor, and then a secondary account or the location that says this is which location I'm dealing with. So when I process a transaction in Fort Wayne, it's going to override that segment with the Fort Wayne account segment. Cool? All right, so that's how I set up my administrative margin, and then now I'm going to go to recipes, and I'm going to look at the recipe that uses that, and I'm going to have like a clean ton. So this is just like a ton of goods, and it's actually cleaning them, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. So you can see I got a clean ton, and I have a raw material just for demonstration purposes. I called it raw, and an admin margin. This is the one I want to focus on here. I've got an admin margin, and that admin margin actually has a $20 cost. And so basically what that's going to do is put in a $20 charge to the actual I'm going to just put in 100%, so it's 0%. So 0% markup would give you a $20 cost to the bill. So I've come in here and I've just put $20 and then zero margin, and then retail price would be 20, and this is what's going to actually get booked to your labor so that you can do a multiplier. So yes, I want to save the changes I made for this item, right? And now what you'll note is I can then go back to the inventory item if I'd want, and I could change the rate, and then that actual all the actual bills associated with that admin margin would also change. So if I go back to admin margin and I go to setup and I go to costs and pricing, and I go to standard cost for Fort Wayne, and I change that to $24, and I save that. Oh, I want to hit new. I want to hit save. Mouse click happy. So I save that. And then now I go back to the admin margin item, and I go back to the admin item on the cleaned routing, right? And you'll note here that now that's going to be a $24 charge, right? So that's how I would monthly update my rates if I over or under absorbed inventory into the product. So there, now I've got a clean ton. I'm happy, right? I'm happy at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of there. I'm going to do a production of that clean ton, show you how that works. So there, I'm going to go into blend production. So I'm going to go into manufacturing, and I'm going to go into blend production. And basically I'm going to create an item, and I'm going to blend it. So basically here I can either do a production, you'll note there's one in progress, or I can create a new production sheet. And this actually could feed from scheduling long term if that's what you want to do. And here I'm going to pick my cleaned product, right? That's my work order of the product that I'm actually producing. And I'm going to put my quantity in of 1, and I'm going to put my actual quantity of 1. And then here I'm going to say, yeah, I confirm I did add a ton into this good. Now it's actually going to backflush the labor automatically so that it's going to put my hour of labor into there when I hit produce. So the next thing I'm going to do is produce, and it's going to ask me for a storage location of where I want to put these and my finished goods, right? So it says invalid storage location, or you would like to have a storage location. At that point, it produced a blend, so I can go back into the general ledger and I can look at the transactions that had happened today, and you'll note that it actually created the transactions, and we're going to look at today's the 27th, and so you can look at this transaction that we made on the 27th DP. And it's nice in the general ledger. I can nail that DP inventory, and you'll note it's broken up into the produce and the consume, right? So in the consumption here, you'll note that I consumed $5 of raw material cost for a ton. Obviously, that's cheap. Let's get more of that. And then I got $24 for labor. This is a labor-intensive operation, right? So you'll note that my labor came out of my unabsorbed account that we set up at the item level, right? So that's crediting out of there. My inventory is crediting out of there, out of the actual finished good inventory, and it's putting it into the WIP account that was set up on the item. And then, so now it's put $29 into WIP, right? Because it's taken the 24. Now it's going to take the $29 out of WIP and put it into finished good inventory. So that's the process by which production happens. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's cool. And you let me know if you need anything else. Thank you for your time.